All right, welcome everybody to the Mac and Riley podcast, episode number 5. We are really getting up there in the episodes now. We're cranking them out with some really cool people. And last time we had Courtney with Mackenzie. Mackenzie and Courtney had some really good conversations. And this week I'm going to be talking with Sam Rodriguez. And Sam and I met in the Elite Coaching Academy, the place where a lot of us have actually met. If you're not in there, you should be. And Sam also was on Justin Mahaley's podcast here pretty recently, a couple months ago, and that'll be released here pretty soon too. So, really gaining some traction, gaining some momentum, making some
Yeah,
waves here in the industry, and doing some really cool things, man. So, Sam, it's nice to have you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make waves, for that's for sure.
Yeah, you're getting loud, man. One thing I know about you is I remember when you started making content. And then there was a gap there where I didn't see any of your stuff just because like my own feed starts getting piled up with whatever. And then it started coming up more and more, and your content just keeps getting better and better. And your followers, like, I think you went from a couple hundred to like seven, 800 now or something crazy, like
Yeah.
in a
Well,
very short period of time, too. So super impressive, man. You've been killing it.
oh, thank you. Yeah, well, I had when I started it, like started making content, it was just with my like old Instagram. And so um I was just kind of I realized I was talking to like nobody because a lot of like the people on my old Instagram like weren't using Instagram anymore. So then
Yeah.
me and my wife just decided just to make a new Instagram page with like brand new followers. So yeah, I was able to grow. How long has it been? Think 6 weeks, 6 weeks. And I've been able to go from like zero to like over 700 followers.
In 6 weeks?
Yeah,
That's sick, man. That's really, like, I personally have not seen that. So that's
yeah.
really
So
cool.
that's been a lot of hard. I mean, I kind of did like the kind of did some follow for follow at the beginning, but
Yeah,
then
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
Yeah.
just like so I wouldn't look like a spam page if I'm posting a bunch of content with like 4 followers. Like who is this guy?
Yeah.
So just to get it up, but then after that, it's just been kind of slowly trickling in like a few new followers every day just from posting and stuff. Because like that was my main thing, which I know Justin like really tells us is just like get out there and post like every day. And that's what I like really struggled with the first like couple months of like, oh, I don't know what to say or what and then just getting really nervous in front of the camera, but really just making a point to do it every day, like and so helps so much. And then like yeah, so that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy when you start kind of picking yourself apart. Like it's almost like the barrier that you put in front of yourself when you start making content gets bigger and bigger the longer you wait between videos or
Yeah.
before making your first video. And then when you do your first one, like you kind of, at least I would sort of hyper obsess about that one video. Like I remember any music because I used to use some like whatever beats instrumental music on some of my old videos, and like I would listen and watch my like those videos so many times in a row that it's almost like, have you ever listened to a song so many times you're like, I could be okay if I never listen to the song ever again?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it was with some of those instrumental beats music that if I and they're the music that a lot of people use. So now if
Yeah.
I ever see a reel that has any of those that music on there, I'm like, swipe, get it out of here, go away.
Oh
Like
no.
you probably have cool stuff to say, but I can't listen to it because I just hyper fixated.
That's
Um,
funny.
but then you start getting on a roll with it, and you make another one, you make another one, you stop. You don't really think about it as much. You kind of like start focusing on like little details about how to get better versus like, oh, what are people going to think of me, or did I sound a certain way, or whatever it is. Like, and man, the way you edit your videos is like I can tell you spend a lot of time.
Yeah, well, luckily, like my wife's been was helping me with a lot of it at first because I was just like so slow. But now, I've been trying to do it on my own. So if there's like a little difference, that's because I started doing it. But she was really helping me a lot because she's was like way better at that. But so then, um, just with everything that's happened like the last like few weeks, I just she was helping me like she was helping me a lot. But obviously with everything that happened the last couple weeks, I just we're just she's just focusing on the kids, and then I'm focusing on this.
Oh, that's right, because you guys just had another kid, right?
Yeah, so kind of the same thing that happened the last time because my wife went into HELP syndrome with our son, and had to have an emergency C-section when she was just 33 weeks along. And then this time, the doctor caught it sooner, because we already knew like she might like be heading that way. Well,
Yeah.
which was weird because this whole pregnancy she felt like so much better, so we thought she was really going to make it. But then in just a few days, it kind of just like flipped. So she had to have another emergency C-section at 31 weeks this time. But everything's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like, our daughter's doing great. My wife is crazy tough. She was like walking the next day.
Oh, that's cool.
And
That's
then
so cool.
and yeah, our daughter's doing great. Like, she was just on a little CPAP just to help her with some oxygen, but she's already off that. Like, as of yesterday, they got her off the IV lines. She's only taking like breast milk that's like fortified with some extra calories just to help her grow. So now she just needs to work on, like, I think really the biggest thing, which my son needed to work on too, is just being able to like eat on her own, like from a bottle, or breastfeed. That's where we're like the next things we're gonna work on. So she's doing great.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we saw those
Yeah.
pictures. Everybody's super excited about that. Like,
Yeah.
that's cool. And that's cool that you guys already did it once, so you kind of know what to look out for. You were ahead of it. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't like, it kind of sucks to have to do it again, but also we've done it before, so we know like what to expect. It's just harder, obviously, just more moving pieces this time with already like a 17-month-old son. But also this time her mom is able to stay a lot longer. So her mom's been staying with us to help. So that's been great.
Oh, that's cool. That's super
Yeah.
helpful. Man, so you guys
Yeah.
working on your third then?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we're gonna be good with just the two.
Yeah, man. I don't have any. Like zero's too much for me, so I commend you for that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah. And so what does your wife do? Or what did she do like prior? What's gonna
Well, she's a nurse. She's an LVN.
oh, cool. Okay.
So, yeah, before we had kids, she was working at like a skilled nursing facility, like taking care of old people, like passing around meds and that stuff. But then she found another job just taking care of like a special needs girl, since our son was born, because she was more like part time. She only had to work like a few days a week, and it's so she was just doing that. But now the goal is just for her to just stay home with the kids.
Yeah, that's super
Yeah.
cool. Man. And then give all the attention. Like, yeah, I support the traditional home life in that way. Making sure the wife has enough time to take care of the kids and approach things that way. It seems like today everybody's so busy that you know it's easy for I don't know for a lot of women to like rely on maybe daycare or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool that you're able to provide that for her.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like they like the moms like have to go to work, that's
Mhm.
just how it
Yeah,
is, but
yeah,
that's my goal, is like for her like not to, so she can just spend all that time with our kids now, like especially when they're so young.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, that's cool, man. Here pretty soon, you're gonna be taking off with the coaching, and I'm excited to see where that takes it. So, what is your background? Like, what got you into fitness? What got you into coaching eventually? Like, yeah, what led to all of it?
Yeah, so I guess it started, I finally like started going to the gym, um probably about 10, it was like 10 years ago, after like a bad breakup, and I was like had gained weight, and like I'd always been like that skinny kid in like bands, like playing drums. And then I looked in the mirror, and then I remember one time I got like, for my birthday, I got like a large t-shirt, and I was like, that's rude. Why would you give me a large? I like wear small t-shirts. Then I put it on and it fit, and I was like, oh no, this is so then I was like, okay, I think I need to change something. So I had a couple friends, and we were like at a barbecue, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna start working out. Do you want to come work out with us? And I was like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. So we just worked out at my friend's like garage gym for like a year, and then we didn't really know what we were doing. Like, I think we started following like some like influencer on YouTube, so we kind of knew how to track our macros, luckily, but like the workout parts we were like not very good. Luckily I had a coworker that was a power lifter, so I was like, "Oh, look at my squats." And he was like, "Dude, those are trash." And I was like, "Oh." And he's like, "You need to do it like this." And I was like, "Oh, okay, let me fix that." And then I had that's when I was living in California, like in the kind of in the middle of nowhere. No one knows where that really is. But then I moved down to Long Beach, like Southern California. and started working out at the gym there and made friends with another powerlifting guy and kind of got into powerlifting. And then he was super helpful with like my form for like, squat, bench, deadlift. And then he had a powerlifting coach. So then he referred me to that guy. So I worked with him for a while, did a powerlifting meet. But that whole time my nutrition was pretty bad. Like I'd kind of like, I'd tried to get like another coach before that, like another online coach. And because I was like, oh, like I'd lost weight, I got like in like decent shape on my own. Then I tried to do like the dirty bulk, which ended horribly. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing so good. Maybe I need another like kind of someone to guide me for the next cut. And so from I'd already known like, your cut, you like increase your protein, you kind of like keep the fats, you might need to drop them, but you're going to manipulate the carbs mostly. So I was like, okay, so I'd kind of got to like a sticking point, which I mean, now obviously being an ECA, we should have known like this was 9 years, 8 or 9 years ago. So I didn't know about body temps and how to do refeeds and that stuff. So I go with this coach and they like cut my protein in half. And I was like, well, that's strange. I don't know about cutting protein in a deficit, but you're the coach.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did that. And then I was losing weight, but then I was like, I think I'm losing muscle. So I did the cut and then I was like, I'm I'm way less, but I've also lost all my strength and I think any of the muscle I just built. So then I was like, okay, never mind. I'm going to do this on my own. So then I just did my own research and, did like a better bulk this time, like try to keep it better. That's when I started working with that powerlifting coach, did the meet, but that kind of at the end, I was still within the weight limit. So I kind of got like sloppy at the end because didn't need to make a weight. And then
Yeah.
after that, I was like, okay, I need to find like a good coach. So then I wanted to work with Cornelius Parkin at the time, but I couldn't really afford him. So he referred me to one of his clients that was also a coach, and I worked with him for a couple years, and he was great. That was like when I finally learned how to like about nutrition and like refeeds and all that, and he got me in pretty good shape. The first time, then we did like a massing phase and then another cut and then in hindsight, I probably could have done like a bodybuilding show because I got pretty lean, but in my head, I'm like, I'm not ready. And he was like, I
Mhm.
think you are. And I was like, no, I need to get bigger. So then I moved to Texas and then I kind of always that during that time, like as I'm learning stuff, I'm always trying to help other people in the gym, like
Mhm.
trying to like, like why like if I see someone struggling, like why am I gonna let them struggle? Like I'm gonna go over there and help them, especially if they're doing like one of the bigger lifts and they're like a squat, bench, or deadlift and their forms like kind of dangerous. I would like go over there and be like, hey, you bro, could I give you some advice? And they're like, oh sure. And like, hey, like I struggled with these same things. Like, let me give you some advice. And they're like, oh, thank you. So I've always been that kind of person that like really wants to help people. And then when I moved to Texas, I started working with another coach and kind of did the same thing, like a cut and a bulk. And then when I had my son, I was like, I kind of need to take a break from the bodybuilding kind of stuff and just really focus on like being a dad. But I'm
Mhm.
still gonna like not gonna give up on everything. I just want to just focus more on like the parenting life, and then I'm gonna still work on my goals, but like not like kind of secondary. But that's when I started like also helping some of my friends with the coaching. I had my friend because he kind of gained a lot of weight, but he also has like a bad back from like a motorcycle accident, so he couldn't really work out. Like every time he tried to do anything, he just throw out his back. Like not even working out, just like tying his shoes.
Man.
I try to have him do some stuff, but mostly just really dialed in his diet and his like steps.
Mhm.
And in like 6 months, I got him. He lost like 45 pounds.
That's sick.
So
Isn't that
then,
crazy how that works? Like you just the simple things. Like that's one of the most complicated. Like we could talk all day details about like nutrition, like you said, carbs versus fats, which ones do you
yeah,
use, which foods do you use,
yeah,
supplements, training approaches, training volume. You could get into all that stuff. But really, for like 80% of the cases, if you just focus on getting good foods, single source foods,
yeah,
not eat bad stuff, get enough steps in, you see some crazy results. And it's often difficult, I find, to really communicate that, look, this is enough. Like most
yeah,
people think, okay, if I'm going to get in the best shape of my life, I need to start eating 5 meals a day. I need to go to the gym 5 days a week. I need to do an hour of stair stepper every day. Like I can tell you how many times people are like, hey, they'll come to me or something and say, all right, I started doing this on my own. I wanted to get in the best shape of my life. Right now, I'm doing an hour on the stair stepper. I'm
Oh my
doing
God.
35 sets in the gym. You're like, that's way too much.
Yeah,
And
they
then
just
you,
like go overboard because that's the same thing I tell my clients because even like the couple times I got like in really good shape, I think most of it was just from my steps. I was getting like 12 to 15,000 steps a day and then doing like 20 minutes of actual like cardio on the Stairmaster, you know? And then so but that's what I try to tell like people is like you got to just like get the basics of like the nutrition and the steps like and then we can focus on like the training. Like the training's going to help too because obviously you want to build muscle. But yeah, like just those things like really help. That's like I'm always like nagging my clients about is like their steps.
yes, yeah, and finding that, like you got to find. It's like you have to find a good baseline to always have. Like you can
Yeah,
work up to a high intensity. Like you'll see influencers or especially professional bodybuilders. Like a lot of people try to mimic professional bodybuilders, but you don't realize that they've taken 10 to 15 years to get to where they're at in terms of intensity,
yeah,
volume of like food, training, activity, whatever it is, PEDs, things like
oh
that.
yeah,
It's taken a long time to work up to that. Kind of like, I like the quote that everybody wants to be a millionaire, but if you were to be thrown into a millionaire's lifestyle right now, you would not be able to handle it. You couldn't handle any of that. You would be burnt out and you'd fall off right away. Like it's taken those people years and years and years and years to build up to that lifestyle that's like, okay, they were able to handle a very basic routine and schedule that first made them any money, and then they intensified, and then they added more in. Now they're working with more people, now they're doing more travel, whatever it is. You start working
yeah,
into those things. It's like the same thing with bodybuilding. It's like, dude, I could throw you into the program, say I do, but you wouldn't last very long doing it because you wouldn't be able to recover from it. you would
yeah,
you would
yeah,
have to figure out the habits. Like if you're not sleeping very well, then that alone is it's not going to work. So you have to find like a very baseline, like, okay, let's eat 4 meals a day and get these steps in and get your sleep schedule. If you can do that
yes,
for 2 months, one, you're going to make a shit ton of progress from all of that. You're going to make a
exactly.
bunch of
Yeah,
progress from all that. So why would you want to do more than that when you can get more progress from starting there and then increase the intensity as you go? Like, okay, now let's go from 20 to 30 minutes of cardio. And if you do that,
yeah,
you could get 2 to 3, sometimes 4 weeks of progress just from that. Now you're
yes,
still you're still not doing very much. And your niche, the people you work with is busy parents, people who have schedules. Like we're not working with professional bodybuilders. We're not working with
yeah,
people who like their only goal is fitness. Like you have to find that balance between what can you maintain at all times that's still going to make you a lot of progress without pushing you overboard to the point where you're going to burn out at some point. That's a
yeah,
skill. That is a skill as a coach to develop, right?
exactly, exactly. Because like, and I can pull from like the experience like of being a dad myself, and then like kind of figuring out because this last like year and a half I've just been coaching myself, like I said, because I just really wanted to focus on being a dad, but also kind of start of like coaching other people. So that's why I kind of wanted to not prioritize myself, but like I'm still focusing on myself, but I'm also trying to focus on other people. So kind of I guess balance it. But that's why like yeah, like you said, like um sorry, one second, gathering my thoughts. But yeah, you don't like these people don't have 2 hours to spend in the gym doing like a crazy leg section and then cardio after. We have like an hour to get it all done like while our kids nap or something.
And someone
So it
that
needs to be like efficient workouts, and that's like what I work on.
yeah, and it's crazy because that's going to make more progress than 2 hours in the gym. You're going to get
Yeah,
more progress out of doing less than an hour with the recoverability that you have than doing more than that and being fatigued the rest of the day. Like it's crazy. Like once you explain that, like a lot of people will say, because I really hone in on that, like getting the most progress from the least. Like how much
yes,
progress can we get from as little as possible? And when you start to get that paradigm shift across and get them thinking in that way, they're like, oh man, I get more progress out of doing 12 sets in the gym, 15 to 20 minutes cardio a day, 12,000 steps than I ever did doing all this stair stepper, all this working out, trying to eat too much, like outside of what your gut's able to handle. Again, like you can always
Yeah.
handle more if you're sleeping better, if your schedule's better, but it's like,
Yeah.
man, once you find that balance and realize you can, all you have to do is stick with something that you can stick with, and you make a
Yes.
crap ton
Yeah.
of progress with that. And it's super
Yeah.
cool once people realize that.
Yeah. That's like the
They're,
thing is like sticking some to something you can actually stick with. Because
yeah,
I've had a couple people come to me and they're like, "Oh, I have all the time in the world," and then I build out this plan, and then they're like, "I've been working 12-hour shifts every day," and I'm like, "Okay, let me change your plan then, because you obviously don't have all the time in the world, dude."
you're like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, if yeah, it's crazy. It seems sexy and cool and hardcore to do stuff that's like really, really difficult and beyond what you can handle type of thing. Like, because it
Yeah.
feels like you're really pushing hard, but
Yeah.
then you just stall and you don't make a lot of progress. And you're like, what's going on? Like, what am I doing wrong? Let me dive into the depths of the internet and try to find answers. And then you're just like, well, what do I do now? Because now there's way too many opinions on all this. It's like, dude, simplify. Keep it
Yeah.
simple. Watch what happens. And then you
Yeah.
just start shedding weight like your buddy, 40 pounds off the simplest thing. It's like, that's enough. But if you want to
Yeah.
dig further, it's like you've been doing that for a long enough period of time. It's like, okay, let's make a small change. Let's add a little bit of more training. Let's add a little bit more cardio. And you're like, oh, I can handle 10 more minutes. That's fine. It's like, cool. You just lost 5 more pounds in that next month. Like it's
Exactly.
insane.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's cool. I also had to ask, man, you mentioned that you played drums.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I have always been a major, major metalhead. I've played in like 5 or 6 bands. I play guitar, I play drums, tried singing. Like, what is your what kind of drums did you play? What kind of bands did you play in?
I've like well, because I've been playing since I was 10. So like
That's
my
sick.
first like couple bands I was in was like little punk bands with my friends, and
Yeah.
then like I was in an indie rock band with like one of my best friends in high school. And then I known this other guy who I'm actually still in in another band with right now, but
So you're playing in a band right now.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
sick,
Well,
dude.
still
That's
still
super sick.
trying to make time for it. We're almost done with our album because I'm kind of lagging.
What's the genre that you're in right now?
It's like I guess we could say it's like metalcore because we're like
Uh,
really in like he pulls we're like our favorite bands. I don't know if you've heard of August Burns Red.
dude, yes.
Okay,
I
so
absolutely
that's like
love
one
that
of our
band.
favorite bands. I wish I was as good as Matt Griner, but um
Dude. Dude.
so it's kind of like metalcore, kind of a couple songs are a little bit more like technical, but then our singer we have a singer though, so it's more I don't know, it's kind of a weird genre. Everyone always asks, I'm like, I don't we're kind of different, but we have mostly like clean vocals with like some screaming. I thought I'd shared it in the chat. Oh, it was probably months ago I shared it. So I'll send it to you again because we have like some EPs out right now. We're just trying to finish our like full length album. But I
Man,
played like in mostly like metal. I was playing in a metal band at the end of high school, like kind of death metal. Then I played in like some other metalcore bands. I played in like a deathcore band, and then the band we were in before this was kind of yeah, kind of still like it's all been kind of like in the metalcore genre.
man, that's
Yeah.
so cool. That's funny you say August Burns Red because there's like, you have those songs that you learned. So I started playing guitar when I was 10, 11 years old too. Like
Oh,
that same
sick.
time
Okay.
period. Like started getting into it was like Slipknot, Lamb of God, Amir, Bullet for Valentine, Old Bring Me
Oh,
the
Muir.
Horizon. Yeah,
That's
do you
so
remember
crazy.
Amir back in your
Not so
day?
many people name Amir. Amir is really good.
Yeah, back it was like what was something looking a gift horse yeah, looking a gift horse in the mouth, something I can't remember that song. But they were like it was like when they were weird. Like they
Like
were
when they're
crazy.
like to like that 2008 album or something.
This yes, it would have been like
Yeah,
2008. Yeah, yeah, like the weird, very abstract looking album cover like
yeah.
yeah, dude, that was oh man, that was and then Avenged Sevenfold when it was Sounding the Seventh Trumpet and Waking the Fallen. If you
Oh yeah,
remember those like
yeah.
the old Avenged Sevenfold, dude, those were the coolest. So started playing guitar then. Um, kind of played through high school, but it wasn't until like early college area ish that I started playing in like more bands, and we did like a little. I filled in on. So do you know Invent Animate?
Dude, yes.
Yes. So this band's name was Courier from one of their songs, Invent Animate.
Oh,
From
okay.
one of the songs. I can't remember what album it was off of, but this
I don't
band's name
know.
was Courier. So my buddies in high school, they played, and I just like they wanted me to fill in at one time, so I played a little guitar with them, and then we made a little like band after that. It was called Bright. That was kind of like after the influence was like Normandy, Rain City Drive,
Oh, okay, okay, like that
type
kind.
of like yeah, pop metalcore type
Yeah.
stuff. Um, Tried to do some metalcore. We couldn't find a vocalist that did it. Like the vocalist that we found sounded like a White the Weekend. We always call him like a White the Weekend. Like he sounded like the Weekend, but he was like this ginger kid, and it was hilarious.
Okay.
He was good. Anyway, so yeah, dude, like like those songs that I'll go back to that I'm always have just played that I just will never forget to play. It's August Burns Red, like Mariana's Trench, Pangea.
Oh, those are so good.
Yes, 30 and 7. Anyway, yeah, dude. So we would play in like the little bands. We'd cover those songs and stuff. Dude,
That's sick.
I'm in it with you. That yes, love that stuff.
Yeah. No, Invent Animate. I've been listening to them a lot lately. I don't know if you've listened to like their newer album,
Yes, yes.
but like my son like loves it. Like his favorite song's False Meridian.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
False
so we just
Meridian.
yeah, I just have him like I just play like the drum playthroughs like on the TV and then he just
Yeah,
dances to it.
dude. And those drums, like, they're so good.
He's
I,
really good.
man, I've really been into that song, Monarch.
I'm not sure
Off
if I
of,
know that one.
yeah, that's off of the. It's off of the previous album.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, there's like Cloud
I'm sure.
Cascade. You know, Cloud Cascade. Cloud
Oh,
Cascade and Monarch
yeah,
are the two. Like,
that's
anyway,
right.
like those
Yeah, that's
drums.
right. Because they have a song Cloud Cascade. Because I was like, because do you listen to Animals as Leaders?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, because they have like a song called Cloud Cascade too, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
yes, dude. So that's super sick, man. You should send me that stuff whenever you guys, well, whatever you have now. Like, I'd love to listen to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I'll send what we have now, and then we're working on this album. Should have. Well, it'll be out soon. We
Let's
promise.
go, dude. That's super sick. We could geek out, man. This could turn into like a metalcore podcast. We like, man.
Yeah, that can be another podcast we do, I guess.
Yes, that'd be super cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's run it. You and I are we're gonna talk more about that.
yeah.
So I'm gonna try and not go down the rabbit hole. So that's cool. So working with some coaches and like back then, dude, 10 years ago, the information just wasn't there, man. I was in your boat. Like you were just trying to find information. You couldn't find anything. We're trying to piece things together, and it seemed like the really good coaches, it was almost as if they would keep all the information to themselves, right? It was like it
Yeah,
was the secret. They're like, okay, we don't like because coaching wasn't big back then. Like I wanted to coach so bad back. It was like 2015, 2016. There just wasn't a market for it, and
yeah,
because the people who had coaches were the coaches who like wanted to keep as much clientele as they had. They kept all the information themselves. And man, right now
yeah,
it's just so different because like the more information you share, the more business you have. Like it's totally
yes,
crazy. Back then it was like these are the transformations, these are the testimonials. If you want to know how I did it, sign up for coaching with me and I'll give you some.
yeah, yeah.
And now it's
So
like to get clients, you're like, you share everything. And the more you share, the more clients you get because they're like, oh, okay, I like the way you do things. Not just like who you are and your clients, but it's like, I
yeah,
like listening to how you talk through things and how you explain it. Because the more that clicks with them, the better they execute on the program. It's just crazy how things have changed.
yeah. Now my problem is since being in ECA, I've been learning so much. It's like hard to convey like everything I've learned because I'm like
Yes.
we've just been learning so much, and I'm like I have so much information to share, and I don't have the time to share it.
Yeah, it's like coming up with a sort of I've had that same exact struggle where you could come up with like almost a mini course. Like, okay, I'm gonna start from ground zero and I'm gonna explain everything from the very beginning. But then you run into like, well, a lot of this just keeps getting talked about. And so
Yeah,
now it's like, well, people have heard it all. We've heard it all. We've heard all like calories and macros, which is also kind of crazy because we have heard it all, but also a lot of clients still maybe they don't follow a lot of that stuff. They still don't know, right? They still need to
yeah.
expand on that
I
stuff.
think that's the other thing is like for us, like at least for me, because sometimes when I'm making content, since we've been in the space for so long and we know so much now, it's hard to like go back to thinking about like what it was when we didn't know anything and then talk about that stuff because I'm like well I
Yes.
don't want to talk about this, it's already been talked about, but like you said, to other people we could be the first person they're hearing it from, you
Yes.
know. So then
100%.
that's when I was like, oh wait, let me just go back and like really like I've been making like more like morning routines or like 3 easy habits for people because I want to break everything down, like really make it like simple for them. And then so like that's what I've been trying to do. But yeah, like you said, like a long time, like think well when you were talking about like 10 years ago, that's when I first started like getting into like the fitness space. And then but yeah, just trying to learn everything on my own, like before I got a coach. And then a lot of the stuff I've learned from like YouTube, like I learned a lot of stuff from like Renaissance periodization.
Yep.
Like they were pretty helpful at first, and then
Yep.
kind of branching into like from there, which is funny because then I don't know if you follow if you know who like Lyle McDonald is.
I've heard the name. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had got his book on like women's nutrition and training, so that to help. So I like could learn from like those books, and then also learned a lot from Scott Stevenson. Do you know who
Yep.
Scott Stevenson is?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
he's brilliant.
How to
I
be your
even
own bodybuilding coach. That
yeah, I
book
got
is
his book. I got
amazing.
his book. I did the fortitude training actually a
Yep.
lot of last year.
Did you
I was
like it?
doing fortitude training. I really enjoyed it. It's actually pretty efficient program when you only have like an hour to train and you kind
Yeah.
of are like not okay in the head to push yourself like that. Um, so
Yeah.
it is fun training. It is fun.
Do you use that? That's really cool to think about. Is that an influence in the way you program client training?
Yeah, I will use that sometimes. Some of his methodologies of like some of the supersets or um like his pump sets, I'll do those because I like what is it, like fives into the hole. I don't know if
Hmm.
you've like those kind of things, or
Yep.
like 21s, reverse 21s, just
Yep.
to kind of get like that extra
Yep.
volume in at the end when you
Yep.
don't have that much time, like that
Yep.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
And that's cool for people too, that like you still get to, because almost like part of client management and client psychology is like making things exciting enough. So like in this case, we're doing enough training that you can recover from, but you're trickling in things like 21s versus 21s, five in the hole, things like that, where you're like, oh, this is cool. I can go a little bit balls to the wall at the end and get a sick pump and feel like I really did some
Yes.
stuff without having to do like drop sets on every set, or some of
Yeah.
these insane things that like a lot of people that follow like Martin Fitzwater are doing. It's like, dude, do you
Oh
not need to
yeah.
be training like that? You
Yeah.
won't like
No.
that's not going to work for you. Like you hear
Yeah.
people say like, man, you just need to go back to the basics, or you need to like master the lifts. And they're like, oh, I've been lifting for 10 years. I know how to do that. I know the basics. And it's like, okay, I agree with you. Let's try this. And it's like, let's take all of your weights and let's drop them completely off. You've been benching 225 to 285 for how many years? And you're having troubles growing your chest. And you've been benching like 120s with dumbbells or something. Like, okay, let's go back to 185 on a bench and let's go back to like 65s on your dumbbell bench and let's make that feel as heavy as possible. Like, I want you to
Yes.
make that feel as heavy as possible. And it's like, okay, I got 20 reps. You look at the video and it's like, okay, make it feel more heavy. Make it feel more heavy. It's like, oh, I only got 15. Interesting. Make it feel more heavy. And they're like, oh, I only got 12. Like, this is interesting. Okay, so now you're doing 12 reps with the highest execution you possibly can, trying to extract the most stimulus out of that, and you only got 12, but you've been
Yes.
doing 120s on your dumbbell bench for years and not making progress. It's like, this is what it means to go back to the basics. Right. So
Yes.
you do that, but then you still want to throw in a little bit of like, yeah, some 21s, some maybe a superset or two at the end. And like it helps
Yeah.
them feel like they're still grinding hard in the gym, but they're still within what's recoverable. Like, I love that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Because like it has to be fun for the client. Like you can't like you can make something like this quote unquote like the most optimal, but if it's
Yeah.
not enjoyable for them, then it's not going to be optimal. Because I
Yeah.
tried to do that myself. Like I was doing that fortitude training, and that was fun. And then I switched it up and I did like a Justin Harris program that I had from years
Oh,
ago.
yeah. I love Justin Harris. I love
Yeah.
Justin
And
Harris.
so
Good
I
for
was doing
you.
that. It was like a push pull, one of his push pull leg splits,
Yes.
and I was really enjoying that. And then I got John Jewett's like X frame
Yeah.
program, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is like the most like optimal thing ever. And then I ran it for like a month, and I was like, why am I so bored? and I just went back
Yes.
to the other one because it's like more fun. Like I guess I'm more the person that needs to like kind of chase the logbook with my
Yeah.
training, and so like that kind of like the way like that Justin Harris one was like you have your like top sets like that you're gonna like you
Yeah.
have to beat the logbook like no matter
Yep.
what. Like I kind of needed that more
Yep.
mentality with my training instead of just like the 3 by 10 or whatever and like the slowly pyramiding up and this like the slow like kind of slower what is it, progressive overload training. Like I mean they're both progressive overload either way, but it's
Yeah.
just like the mindset of like that other training program is just more fun for me. So I have to
Man.
and I do that same thing for my clients. Like I try to find what's going to be fun for them, and do like the same thing,
Yes. That's
yeah.
so funny you say that because I've made, so I worked a lot with John Jewett and Luke Miller. Following that type of approach has made me and my clients the most progress ever. It's the most like it's boring kinda, but it makes you really focus on like execution. You're really focusing on like the exciting thing about it is finding out how you can execute better in every aspect of all of it. But
Yeah.
with clients, you're like, okay, if you can get them to really buy into that, yeah, that works. But like the Justin Harris stuff, I find that to be really cool because there is like the PR sets and the pump sets. There's like
Yeah.
cool supersets at the end. There's alternating, like here, you can do any of these 5 exercises at the very end and
Yeah.
see how that does. And just like
Yeah.
play around with that. That's a little exciting. And then with the diet, I don't respond very well to fluctuations in like carbs like that. But if you have like a high carb day, like Justin Harris does like the medium
Yeah.
day, the high carb day. But I find that's really cool for client psychology because if you have a very like a high carb day and you can kind of time it to where it's like, I don't know, I really liked doing, at one point it was like a push off, pull legs off or something like that. And
Yeah.
then like every second training day was a high day. So it's like medium, high day, off day, medium, high day, off day, or like
Yeah.
one high day or two high days a week or something. On
Yeah.
those days that you're eating all those carbs, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go kill it in the gym today. Like it does
Yeah.
something with this client psychology where like if I'm eating all these carbs, oh dude, I'm gonna get a sick pump. I'm gonna take the most advantage of this workout today and
Yeah.
just go
Yeah.
kill it. Like that does something super optimal. Now I don't personally like doing the high carb day and then like a much lower carb day on the next day because then you're still recovering for the couple days after. So you still need a lot of food on the days that you're not doing the high carb
Yeah.
days. And so you
Yeah.
want like you got to be careful not to gain too much fat or whatever. But keeping things exciting like that, like that's really cool. Like feeding that into the client psychology, like some people eat that shit up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because for me, I've done that before and had like my last coach Ross like do like the super high carb days some days,
Yeah.
like when we were really pushing my weight up. But like the just the harder thing was just like trying to meal prep like everything for different days was like
Yes.
kind of hard because I'm
Yep.
like, okay, like I make a certain amount of rice for this day and then I have to make like 2 pots of rice the next day and then I'm like, wait, what day am I on again? And then because
Yes.
I also work on the railroad, so the problem was like I was working on the railroad and I'm like, okay, this needs to be like a high carb day, and I need to go to the gym after. And so I'm eating like all this food, and then I end up staying at work for like 12 hours, and I'm like, but I
Mm.
have to go to the gym because I had all the carbs. Dang
Yes, that's so funny. Yes, that's so
it.
true. I would run into that all the time. Yeah, you're like, if you didn't go for whatever reason, didn't go work out the day, you're like, man, what do I do with all
Dude,
these
yeah, I'm
carbs?
like, dude, what happened? I'm like, I have to. So yeah, so that was like the hard thing is when I was like at the time I didn't have a schedule, like I was just on call, so like every day it could be like a different time. So it's like super hard to like do all that. I mean, I was still doing it like best I could with my crazy schedule. Now, luckily, I've been able to be on a schedule for like a year and a half, but it's kind of more swing shift or night shifts. But at least it's the same schedule, so that's been helpful.
Yeah, that's super
Yeah,
sick, man.
but yeah,
And
I kind of follow the same thing, more just like the like a higher carbs on a training day and then lower carbs on a low day. So it's not also so much like crazy like fluctuations and stuff. It's easier to track. Well, I guess I'll see how
absolutely.
like my this next coach does it. I'm on like a upper lower split right now. I do like arms and legs and then like chest, shoulders, and back the next day and then off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
that's really cool.
Yeah, so that's been cool so far. I've been well, like speaking about like just giving away like free stuff and then you getting more clients. That's what he did. He just put like if like you want like a good program, this is what you should do. On like his story, he posted like a whole like I don't know, like he writes like so much in his story, so I usually have to
Yeah,
screenshot it so I can
yeah,
read
yep,
it
yep,
later.
yep, yep,
And
yep.
I was like, oh, okay, perfect. So actually, I'd already been doing this program for a couple months before working with him, and then he's like, oh, perfect, yeah, we'll just keep doing that then.
It's crazy how that works. Yeah, because you give people like here's exactly what I would do. Like you're like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
pick the perfect client, and for this perfect client, this is exactly what I do. They try it, and they're like, you know what? I like this. I think I would vibe with this coach. I think this would work. Because really, man, like you can be your own coach. You can do your own programming, but the value of a coach is troubleshooting. I try to explain
yeah,
this all the time. It's how well can you troubleshoot when things aren't going right. Like if everything's going right and you're making a ton of progress, like your biggest enemy is just quit changing shit. Quit changing shit. Like pick a meal plan, meals that you like that you can eat every day. Like I like what you said about and this is what I do is I'll have the same meals every day. It's just on training days, my pre, intra, post workout are a little bit different just to
yeah,
have a little bit higher carbs. But
yeah,
everything else is perfectly the same. I keep it all the same. And then training, keep it all the same. All I'm doing is like maybe I'll adjust volume. Like I will like to titrate training volume up a little bit
yeah,
every 8 to 12 weeks, just depending on how recoverability is. Cause like, okay, let's say we're gonna do a massing phase or a building phase. It's like, okay, we're gonna do like 8 to 12 sets a muscle group or something. Or maybe you want to like maybe you have a couple muscle groups that you want to bring up. Maybe we're training for a show. Okay, we'll do a little bit more volume on like let's say back and quads. Maybe a little bit more volume on back and quads, and then let's go a little bit higher on rear delts and hamstrings too, because
yeah,
people always lag rear delts and hamstrings. Or
yeah,
sometimes it's the opposite. Like maybe their rear delts are overdeveloped because they're not training back very well. They're not training their lats. It's all like shrugging and mid
oh
back
yeah,
stuff. Okay, you might do the opposite there. But okay, let's start with that, and then let's start with this meal plan and see that out for like 8 weeks. It's like, okay, we made some really good progress, but now we're not increasing weight as much. Let's say training is going really well. We're reviewing training footage. We're getting good
hmm,
execution. We're getting the most out of our training. So you're
yeah,
not just adding more sets. And then, okay, we're going to increase food. Now you increase food. Maybe you start to make some more progress. But you get to a point where you eating enough food that you can handle more training. It's like let's
yes,
add 2 sets for that week. Let's add 2 sets. Like let's just keep training within recoverability, and as your recoverability gets higher with food, we'll just add a little bit more training sets there. And it's
yeah,
like you just see that out until the end. You keep going. Like you don't have to do a lot of crazy. You don't have to change a lot of stuff. Like stick with it, right? Just
yeah,
stick with it.
yeah. The small like if anything needs to change, like small changes. Yeah, because like that's what I've learned, and that's what I do with my clients is like you don't need like crazy changes every week. Like sometimes, like if everything's working, then perfect. Why we don't need to change anything then. You're killing it. Let's just keep working really hard. This is awesome.
Yeah, and that really, man, that's a hard part about coaching too, is like they're paying really good money for you to coach
Mhm.
them, right?
Yeah.
And on to the point of like troubleshooting, that's where the value of a coach comes in, is one like,
Yes.
okay, I'm really fatigued. Okay, why are you so fatigued? Let's see how you're approaching your day. How are you approaching all this stuff? Like maybe it's something as simple as, because this is really common, like people will go to the gym and they will start training like Martin Fitzwater. They'll start
Mhm.
training like Ronnie Coleman. And they'll start screaming and yelling and hyping themselves up. That's really fatiguing, man. That is really
Yeah.
fatiguing. Like we should
Yeah.
not be like I don't want to say sometimes I'll say go train like Chris Bumstead. Like if you watch Chris Bumstead train, like with his old YouTube videos, like he executes very well, but he's not psyching himself up. So you
Yeah.
got to be careful. Like if you say go train like Chris Bumstead, they might just go in there and they might be like 810 RAR or something. Like you need to still be
Yeah.
training hard enough. He's just like really good at not psyching himself up. But if you can get people from not psyching themselves up so much, their recoverability gets higher. They're not so fatigued throughout the day.
Yeah.
Now you get better results. Like that's a troubleshooting aspect. But for the most part, they come to you. They're paying a lot of money. They want to keep things exciting every time they're talking to you.
Yeah.
And so you're like, how do I balance making some changes or maybe like strategically progressing the program in ways to where you are making some changes, but no
Yeah.
change is good change. If we didn't
Yeah.
have
Oh wait.
any change, that's a
Hold
good
on.
thing.
1 second. My son just woke up. Just 1 second. Let me see if
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
can
you're good.
put him
Yeah,
to sleep real quick. Just 1 second.
you're good. Yeah. And so I'm just going to keep talking while Sam's taking care of that. Like, no change is good change because if you can only eat so much food. You can only do so many sets in the gym. And if you get to the point where you're eating more food that you can handle or you're doing more sets in the gym, then you've hit the end of your off season. You've hit the end of what you can handle, right? You can't keep pushing food, so now you have to pull food back. You can't keep training more and more, so you have to pull training back. That's why we want to always get the most progress out of the least possible anything, because then you always have room to keep progressing. So if you start an off season and you're eating a bunch of food more than you can handle, you're training more than you can handle, you can't progress from that. You're gonna fall off. You're gonna have to cut your off season short. Versus if you start 8 to 12 sets per muscle group, you start with a lower calorie amount, and then every step of the way, you extract as much progress as possible from every change. Then you might be able to handle a 9, 12, 18-month off season because you made so much progress out of every little change along the way that now you can just keep going. You can just keep adding food. Like, well, okay, let's bump 5%. Cool, we made good progress. Let's bump 5% food in another 2 weeks. Okay, cool, we made good progress. 12 weeks later, let's add 1 to 2 sets now that your recoverability is higher. Cool, you can handle that training. Again, just don't psych yourself up and get too fatigued along the way. Make sure the way that you eat is good so that you can maintain digestibility. You're not going on the weekend and having bad cheat meals that wreck your gut for the next 3 days after that, whatever it is. But you make as much progress as possible at every one of those steps. Now you can get as much progress as possible out of that whole off season because you extracted so much progress out of every little step, and now you have way more steps to take. So, man, the value of a coach is being able to line out a good strategy for what a whole off season looks like or what a whole fat loss phase looks like. It's like, this is the way we're going to extract as much progress as possible out of this 6 to 8, 12 months, whatever it is that you sign up for the program. And then we just keep things in line with those expectations and that strategy along the way. And then whatever comes up, you troubleshoot. You troubleshoot. Like, man, I'm starting to get some acne or I'm starting to get diarrhea. Okay, well, let's look into what you're eating. Maybe we'll make some food switches. Maybe there's just some things about how you're approaching it. Maybe you're super stressed all of the time. If you're super stressed all of the time, that robs your recoverability. We need to cut training way back. If you're super stressed all of the time, you're not going to digest food really well. We need to either fix that or drop food back again until you're able to handle what you're doing. And then don't go back to doing what you were doing before. Keep what we learned in the program in that troubleshooting period. And now we can start progressing again. And so whatever comes up, it's acne, it's, diarrhea. Maybe you're not seeing good progressions in a lift. Maybe you're not increasing the logbook for 3 or 4 weeks in a row on certain lifts. It's like, well, let's see why. Maybe you're doing too many sets. That's really common. That is really common, say, especially with chest. A lot of people do too many sets in chest. Sorry, I've been just like
You're
ranting
good.
as we were over there. But now I'm talking about like troubleshooting. Like, it's really common for chest, for instance. If we're not progressing the logbook for 3, 4 weeks in a row, you're like,
Hmm.
why am I not progressing? Well, recoverability is high, stress is low, fatigue is fine. You're probably doing too many sets.
Yeah.
Maybe you're doing 12 sets of chest in a week. Like, dude, let's do 6 sets of chest. And what happens? Like, oh, now we're progressing again. You're actually recovering for that muscle group. That's something that I
Yeah.
really learned from like Renaissance periodization. Like, I don't agree with everything that they say. I think they have some really good stuff. Like, they
Yeah.
tend to
Yeah.
overdo sets, but that's one thing that I took from that is treat each muscle group individually and learn what your recoverability is for each of those muscle groups. Like, let's look at the trends and how you're progressing for back, for chest, for quads, for hamstrings, whatever it is, and then dial in the number of sets that you're doing for that muscle group while keeping in mind that, man, sometimes you don't need to push rear delts that high because you're doing a lot of back work. Maybe you don't need to do a ton of front delts. That's another one that happens a lot too, is like, man, I'm stalling on my front delts. It's like, well, if you're doing 12 sets of chest and 6 sets of front delts with like, three sets of a military press per movement. It's like, dude, you're doing 18 sets of front delts per week. You are not recovering from that. It is not
Yeah.
surprising at all that you're not progressing those movements. Like, we need to cut that shit way back. Now you're
Yeah.
progressing again. Like, that's just part of the troubleshooting.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that was one of the things I learned from RP also. But yeah, that's the troubleshooting part that we help so much with. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
100%. So cool. Okay, I always like to like run through a thought experiment.
Okay.
And so if I came to you, like let's give away some sauce. If I came to you and let's run like a client example. I'm like, Sam, I've had issues gaining muscle. I'm a skinny dude. I don't gain that much muscle. I kind of eat whatever. I've tried some dirty bulks.
Yeah.
I go to the gym. I train. Let's say I do a back day, a leg day, off on Wednesday, and then I do shoulders, arms, or let's say I do shoulders, chest on Thursday, arms on Friday, and then legs again on Saturday, something like that. What are you gonna do with me? How are you gonna fix me? How I want to gain as much muscle as possible.
As much muscle as possible. I probably first see like how much you're actually eating. I like to have people like journal for that first week, so I can actually get like gauge like where their food actually is. Because a lot of people will think, especially in that case, that they're like, "Oh, I'm eating so much," and then we see that like they're not. So,
Yeah, like
like
it's
a
three
really
meals, but they're three really large meals, like
yeah.
super
So
close.
then we can bump that up, 4 meals, then up to 5 meals if we need to. Um, I'll probably keep protein like at body weight and see get their fats at like a good level. For hormones and everything.
Where do you
Especially,
like to put fats? Like around,
I
like
usually
I
do.
like to do like zero point 0.4, zero point 0.5 grams per pound of fats ish.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's about right. I think,
Ends
yeah,
up
about
being
that.
like
Like
80,
point.
90 grams for most people.
Yeah,
Some
usually around there. That's why I try to keep it at. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And then manipulate the carbs to for like their surplus. And then usually I like to try to start people on like more of a like an upper lower split for to
Yes.
like beginning
Yes.
because and really dial in their training that way because that way we're still hitting everything twice a week. Like if they were brand new, sometimes I like to have people do like 3 full body days.
Yes. Big
So
fan of
then
that.
we can like have them hitting everything 3 times a week. But then yeah, upper lower, get their training really good. Make sure we're really like nailing all the lifestyle habits, the sleep. I give everyone a sleep protocol so they can recover, and then like the morning habits of like hydration in the like first thing, sunlight in the eyes, get like go outside for a walk, and then um yeah, that's gonna be like where I'm gonna be focusing on because I really like to nail all that down first.
Yeah, I agree with that big time. Like
Yeah.
one of the craziest things that happens, and I really like to pull this lever, and I always enjoy seeing people come to this conclusion on their own. If you have like maybe you're doing an
Oh,
upper lower, you're not
yeah.
doing that many sets,
Yeah.
and they're like, man, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm like,
Yeah.
go back and make it enough. Make the
Yeah.
sets that you're doing enough. They're like, okay, I'll try that. So they go in the gym and they really focus on those movements and they're getting more and more out of it. And they're like, oh, I'm getting actually a little bit sore now. It's like, okay. So we might have been in a scenario where we were doing so many sets that you're giving half-ass effort on all of your sets.
Yes.
Now you're in the
Yeah.
gym for 1 to 2 hours. What if we cut that in half and you're like, you don't get more sets. You get to do 4 sets of chest per week. Make it work.
Oh, hold on.
And so you're like, okay, make it work. Make those sets work. They're like, okay, well, if I can only do 4 sets of chest, how much can I get out of those 4 sets of chest? Right? And they're like, okay. Same thing with going back to what we were talking about before. It's like make the as little weight as possible feel as heavy as possible. Now you're progressing on 4 sets of chest per week and you're not doing junk volume. Man, that can be huge. Now you're doing an upper lower split. You're doing maybe 6 to 9 sets per muscle group and you're making more progress than you ever have because you're getting more out of them. Now when you add, okay, now we were doing 4 sets of chest. Now let's do 5 sets of chest. You know how to get as much progress out of each set that adding that fifth set is going to be a progressive stimulus. All you have to do at that point is make sure that you don't go back into doing junk volume. Because if you go into a day and you're like, let's just say someone who does a chest day and they've got 12 sets of chest to do. Well, you get to 3 to 4 sets of chest and you start dropping off and you're like, oh, I'm a little fatigued. You're like, well, maybe I'm just not going to go that hard on these sets because I still have 8 more sets of chest to do. So let me sort of pace myself. It's like, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? Why are we purposefully getting less out of sets of chest because of how many more sets of chest you have to do in that day? You're quite literally wasting time and energy. You don't have time and energy. The number one excuse that I get from everybody is, man, I just don't have enough time. Like, okay, cool. So why are we doing 12 sets of chest and 2 hours in the gym then? When you could be doing 4 sets of chest 1 to 2 times a week and get more progress out of that than you have pushing it so far and get more time back and be able to do what you need to do at your job or for your kids or for your family and be able to have more time to meal prep and do all of that. Like once you start clicking into that, it's like, this is what makes sense. This is what makes progress. If you do more than you can handle, you will not make progress. You will not be able to progress. You will be stuck if you do more than you can handle. So don't go to YouTube and start doing what Nick Walker does for training. Don't go do what John Jewett is doing for training. Don't go do what Martin Fitzwater is doing for training. It has taken them 15, 20 years to get to where they're at. Yeah, they're modulating volume in contest prep versus off season, but your body starts to adapt and you need more and more training volume as you get bigger and bigger. So why are you doing as much training volume as someone who has to push that much training volume because they've been doing it for that many years and have that much muscle when you just got started? You just got started. You will not be able to handle that. You will not be able to recover that, and you will not make progress. That's it. And you will continue to not make progress until you come to that realization that, okay, I don't need that much. I need to go back to the basics. So the most important thing that I've ever come to, the most important conclusion I've ever come to in my own bodybuilding or with any client is that if you just can accept that you are a beginner, I don't care how long you've been doing this. If you can accept that you're a beginner, you're like, I'm just going to start over and pretend I don't know anything and I haven't done anything and I don't know what I'm doing. Let's start over from ground zero. Let's do a full body day, 2 to 3 times a week, and focus on getting the most out of that. And if you really are executing, depending on where your physique development is and how well you can execute and what you can actually handle, not on your best day, but on every day when things are stressful and you have a lot of stuff going on, like if you're falling off all the time, you're doing more than you can handle. So let's go back to a full body movement 2 to 3 times a week, a full body split 2 to 3 times a week. If you can actually handle that, let's do an upper lower. Let's do upper lower off, off. That's going to get a lot of people a lot of progress. And then you get to the point, it's like, okay, if you can actually handle that and we are actually getting the most out of that, then let's try a push pull legs off, upper lower off. For most people, that's as far as you need to go. You don't need to be doing more than that. If you're stressed and you have a lot of stuff going on, we all have a lot of stuff going on. That's as much as you can handle.
Yeah.
And that doesn't take away from you as a person. That doesn't have to chip away at your ego. That doesn't have to chip away at the fact that you've been doing this 20 years. That just has to hone in on the fact of what you can actually recover from and what's going to make the most progress for you.
Yeah.
Biggest mover right there. And so while you're away, I was
Sorry.
kind of talking about like, man, doing more than you can handle. Like go back to the basics. Like a point that I made just a minute ago is like, junk sets. If you're doing 12 sets of chest in a day and you're like, man, I don't want to give it in my all with these first 4 sets of chest because I've got 8 more to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are we
Exactly.
doing that? Why are you saving yourself? We don't have time for that shit.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
anyway, biggest mover there.
All right. Well, I think I might have to get going now. But thank you for having me. Because
Yeah, absolutely. This was super sick. Dude, send me your EPs. Like
yeah,
we could geek out on metal all day. I am the biggest metalhead ever. I
yeah.
was digging back into like, do you remember like Memphis May Fire?
Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah.
So I used to love, what was it, Alive in the Lights album or something like that? It has like Jezebel, Alive in the Lights. Um,
I'm so bad with album names, but probably.
yeah, Vices. Are good. But then they just started making like crappy music for the long time,
Yeah.
and then they came out with this song. I think it was called Chaos or something. Like, there's one song they dropped recently that was like, dude, where have you guys
Oh,
been?
oh,
This
I
is
haven't heard
actually
it then.
sick. There's a good one. Yeah, go back today. Like, find just like if you just do Memphis May Fire on Apple Music or Spotify, whatever, and like find like one of their top songs right now. It's like it's actually good again. Like that's super
Okay,
sick.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, we could geek out all day on that shit. But
Yeah.
Sam, thanks for coming on the podcast. This was super fun. Man, we
Yes.
could geek out for days and days on this stuff. I'd love to do another
Yeah.
podcast, especially with Mac on again.
Yeah, we
Uh,
definitely should. That'd be great.
man, diving
I
into
feel like we have
time
so much more to
travel.
talk about.
Absolutely. So, man, cool. I'm gonna cut off here. Thank you guys for all listening, and we will see you again on episode 7.